A minute of Prince? Seems out of character, right? Well, I couldn't help myself. I love Prince, and I've been obsessed with this song for a few years. Check out this groove, and I think you'll understand why. Before I talk about this groove, we have to talk about the intro fill. I never realized it as a listener, but when I first tried to play along with this track, the intro fill just came out of nowhere. The song was built around a programmed groove on a classic early drum machine called the LinnDrum. That made it easy to line up with a metronome click, but when you line it up with a count off, the intro fill doesn't really make any sense. Check out what I mean. The fill comes really late in the count-off measure, which makes the groove feel like it jumps in out of nowhere. Since it would have been way easier for Prince to put that fill in an obvious metronomic place, and knowing from interviews that Prince was obsessed with these details, this is clearly intentional. I love the feeling of surprise it gives the beginning of the song, but it's certainly made for some frustrating first takes trying to play along. Now into the groove. The song starts out with a simpler version of the beat with steady eighth notes on the hi-hat. One of the interesting parts about transcribing this was being that it came from layered drum machine parts, it doesn't necessarily translate to an acoustic drum set in a traditional way. Depending on your setup, there are many ways you can work all of this out. I chose to keep my setup as close to normal as possible, adding a cymbal stack on the left side for the distorted hand claps, and muting the tom with a towel to get closer to the electronic sound. In this simpler version of the beat, you'll notice I switched my left hand to the hi-hat midway through to free up my right for the other parts. I like the challenge this poses, both coordination-wise and for getting a consistent sound on the hi-hat with both hands. Check it out. Now, I'm going to demonstrate how Prince moves from that simplified version into the full version you learned in the original Minute of Drums lesson. There's a simple 16th note fill on the snare that leads into the busier groove. First, I'll play it slowly on my own, then give you the play-along video again so you can see how it fits with the song. Such an interesting beat, and it grooves so hard once Prince puts it all together. I hope you enjoy this tune as much as I do.